and prepare yourself like a man.
Yeah.
So no Hebrew Israelite want to prepare yourself as a man and answer me.
Yeah.
Because the question is, if it's a white man fall from heaven. That is my question. But let me work on
Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to YAHAWASHI, QADASH, the ones to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And you know, you just heard the question. He goes by the name of Apostle John McGregor. I guess he think he's the actual Apostle John, you know, the beloved disciple of Yahawashi. But you know, he posed this question to Hebrew Israelites. So I guess he's, you know, calling out all the Israelites. And this is the channel right here, Mount Zion Apostle Doctrine. All right. And you know, we've covered this, you know, starting with the actual apostles, all right, through the Spirit, you know, different brothers and elders, you know, throughout the camps, I'm sure has done lessons on this topic before, you know, addressing and breaking down, you know, who is Lucifer in Isaiah the 14th chapter and the 12th verse. You know, who is the you know, this bearer of light that fell from heaven. And you know, all you gotta do is just look up the meaning of words. A lot of these Christians, you know, they don't you know, they don't do their due diligence, and they read it, you know, with a simple mind, and which is why they can't grasp and understand, you know, the things of the Spirit that are contained in these scriptures. You know, just basically looking up the word Lucifer in itself, you know, it just literally means light bearer. All right. Is in the online etymology dictionary. It says down here, light bringing from lux or lucis, light. All right, and the word fere, to carry, bear. So basically, when you put it together, it just means, you know, light bearer or light bringing or light carrier, however you want to, you know, say it. All right, and then when you go to Isaiah the 14th chapter, you know, who's the main character? Who's the main person that this you know, goes into? It's talking about the king of Babylon, right? Now we know that the main ruler of the Neo-Babylonian Empire was Nebuchadnezzar. All right, and we know that he ended up falling to the Medo-Persians. They ended up taking over, and they began to rule. All right, so when you read Isaiah the 14th chapter, you know, most people make the error of thinking this is talking about, you know, Nebuchadnezzar. All right, but you know, Nebuchadnezzar, yeah, he was proud. You know, he's very lofty. You know, he tried to make, you know, people bow down to the image of Baal. And the Most High ended up, you know, humbling him by turning him into a beast. It made him, you know, grow feathers, and he was you know, eating grass like an ox. The Lord literally turned him into a beast. So that's how he was, you know, brought down. And then his son Belshazzar, you know, he got proud as well and didn't give glory to the Most High, and the Most High ended up, you know, getting at him. And that's when you know, Cyrus the Great, you know, took him down, and the Persians ended up ruling. And there was never no account where when the Babylonians fell that the Israelites took these Babylonians and brought them into the land of Israel and possessed them, you know, for servants and handmaids. So obviously this is talking about a futuristic Babylon, which we all know is talking about Babylon the Great. So who would be the ruler or the king of Babylon the Great? Because Babylon is a high power right now. All right, going into the books of Revelation 17 and 18. This is the whore that rides the beast, having 7 heads and 10 horns. You see? So just to get into it, I'm not going to make this a long video, but as the scriptures say, pursuant to Colossians, what was that, 4 and 6, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man. So, I'll answer that, even though there's already videos on YouTube, of different brothers and elders and even apostles, which maybe some of the videos that they did do the lesson on is probably um took off, because it was probably on pages that been since terminated. YouTube then whacked a lot of channels that had a lot of good edifying videos and information. So you might not see them, but brothers do download these videos and repost them, so it might be out there. All right, but anyway, I just came across this, and I just want to just do a quick response, and Lord willing, this edifying. All right, because all you got to really do is just read the chapter, and then you read down to verse 12. It's still talking about the same individual. Okay, Lucifer. But who's Lucifer? Is it just one person? Is it one man? Is it Satan? A lot of Christians like to say that Lucifer is talking about Satan, but when you actually get a clear understanding, it ain't talking about Satan. All right, because Satan never been kicked out of heaven. Well, like when you read Job, the first and second chapter, Satan he appears to be conversing with the Most High. It doesn't look like there's beef in there, in the spiritual realm, having a face off. No, Satan takes orders from the Most High. He works for the Most High on the left hand side. He's another angel, just like the other angels. All right, so that's false. That's a fallacy. So anyway, this is Isaiah 14 and verse 4. Now this is after when you read the first few verses, it's talking about Israel returning back to the Holy Land, and they're gonna have their enemies, which were their oppressors. They're gonna have them as slaves. Okay, and this hasn't took place yet. It says, and it shall come to Slakia. Yeah, I'll read verse 3. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day. It shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. And we're yet this day in our captivity. All right, and we serve our enemy. We serve Esau. We're subject to payments. We got to pay taxes, pay our tribute to Caesar, which is really, to the international bankers. They're the ones who control and rule this corporation called America. And they control the governments that also govern this society. So that at the end of the day, that's who we serve. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The exactor of gold. These European Edomites, they came over here and they took, the gold. They exploited, the land, and they murdered off a vast majority of Israelites that were already over here that occupied this land. That would be Gad and Reuben. And you had also on the west coast, you had Issachar, and his land was rich in fine gold, silver, and minerals. And that's how this devil became, very, super rich and wealthy. And then they used the Israelites for that slave labor. Right? It says the Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, meaning the Lord is breaking down their power. He's stripping them of their power source. They still in power, but the Lord is he's starting to take bits and pieces of that power from him. Okay, and that's why you're seeing what's happening right now. There's major division, within their governments. A lot of things are getting exposed. A lot of agendas. So the Lord is breaking them down systemically, and then these other nations are starting to see that as well, and they're rising up and coming against him. It says, "He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth." All right, and the Lord, He's the one that's you know, getting at this devil. This devil then he's ruling the people in anger, caused all these different wars, a lot of mass casualties, the death of women, children, civilians. All you got to do is just go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. He heaped to himself all nations. He gathered to him all people, and he's never a keeper at home. He's everywhere causing disturbances and wars because he's greedy. All he cares about is his gain. All right, and that's what we're experiencing even to this very moment. Them putting everything back on lockdown. Them putting out fear propaganda in the media to get you to give up your liberties and your rights, so they can just continue to take over, take full control. All right, and they're ruling the nations in anger. Bomb strikes. So this devil is getting ready to be persecuted. The Lord is putting that spirit on these other nations to come against them. You got the prophets prophesying against them. It says the whole earth is at rest, and this is when Babylon's finally gone, when it falls, the earth is going to finally be at rest. The scriptures speaks on how this place is known as a destroying mountain. Let's go there real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah, the I believe it's the 50th chapter. It is Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" All right, going back to Isaiah 14, "The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke." The hammer of the whole earth, causing all type of devastation all over the place, resulting in, a lot of animal suffering, destroying the whole ecosystems, because this devil want to, surveil and control, every part of the planet. All right. And let me get Jeremiah 51. I think that was what I was looking for. Jeremiah 51 and 25. And this is what the Lord's going to do to this place. Jeremiah 51 and 25, it says, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyest all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and make thee a burnt mountain." See, it is, this is an exalted government on the earth, and it's known for, destroying, causing devastation, turning, whole cities into wildernesses, man. You see, so the Lord's going to make this place a desolation. He's going to destroy it. And that's when that moment happens, that's when all power is going to be cut off from the people, the rulers, the powers that be. All right. So going back to Isaiah 14, it says, "After that happens, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, Hey, Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the whole earth is languishing and fading away. It's fading out, man. It took too much abuse. You know, this devil didn't extract it and absorbed everything out of the earth. And that's why the earth is responding back to this devil. That's why you have series of sinkholes all over the place, earthquakes in diverse places, extreme weather patterns, which, you know, some of that is because Esau got that weather modification technology. He's using that too. And that's, you know, part of Esau's sword is the ability, you know, to use technology as a weapon. And the earth is taking so much abuse from it. So when this devil is finally out of power and he's brought down, you know, to naught, the whole earth is going to be at rest, man. Then the earth is going to get to be a paradise, the way it used to be, going back to the garden. It says, yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. You know, deforestation, you know, he does that. This man, he's very destructive. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. You know, the Christian will read that, oh, you see, it says hell. You know, so he's gonna go down to hell. But I thought the devil was already supposed to be in hell. You know, but see, you know, they don't know how to, you know, read and understand these scriptures, and they don't know the meaning of words. The word hell in this context is up from the Hebrew word sha'al or sha'awah, which means the grave or pit. Meaning the Lord's going to basically put you in the dirt, man. He's going to put you down. Okay? You're going to be stripped from power, from your exalted, lofty, high position. All right? It tells you that in Revelation, you will not have any place in heaven anymore. All right? It says, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. Because all the kings, they don't have dominion. I mean, they had, you know, their position in this world up under you. But as far as a full out dominion, you know, they ain't had that. The Babylonians had their time. The Medo Persians had their time. The Greeks and the Romans, they had their time back then. And then, of course, you know, that dragon, the eagle, roamed and resurfaced. And this is, you know, what we're seeing now is we're that same power structure and the people that rule, they're back today in their lot. But this is their last hoorah, so to speak. All right. You read you know, Revelation 13, it talks about their deadly wound being healed. And the Lord basically brought them out of exile, brought them out of that pit, and they, you know, went out and deceived the nations, the world, and came up in the power again. So this is the basically we at the foot and the toes of the Roman Empire is getting ready to get destroyed, and they're not going to have any place in rulership, and these other nations are not going to have any place in rulership. All right, so that you all are going to be, you know, down. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? You don't have any power anymore. You know, you don't have the authority to you know, rule the whole planet like you once did. When you had, you know, you dictated the world through your unrighteous policies. It says thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. All right, and meaning what? The Lord is breaking your whole power structure down, you know, systematically, economically, and even socially. You know, even down to your infrastructure, your bridges and roads is all messed up. They're all weak. Your bridges are collapsing. You know, basically your society is experiencing corrosion. Okay, so you're beginning to fall from power. All right, now here's the point. Verse 12. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." And this is a clue to who Lucifer is. Lucifer means light bearer. So that means that these are wise men that rule the world. Okay. Now the scriptures talk about how, you know, this man would exalt himself. Let's go to Obadiah real quick. Yeah, this is Obadiah. I'll start at 1. It says, "The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom." And that's the biblical nationality for the so-called white man. All right, Esau. Okay, Edom. He's an Edomite. Now, not every single so-called white person is an Edomite. You got Israelites that look like so-called white people, but the angels are gonna, you know, separate them anyway. Okay, they're gonna separate the wheats from the tares. It says, "We have a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle." And that's what this war of Armageddon is about, man. The Lord is preparing his war. That's why you're seeing all these conflicts happening right now. You know, especially over there in the Middle East, over in Syria, over in Afghanistan, over in Iraq. You know, they trying to destabilize Iran. And then you got Russia in the mix. That's Gog and Magog. So they all are getting lined up for this battle. Russia and its allies, which Russia is going to cover for Iran. And then you got the Great War. And you got the beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. That's NATO and the EU. And you see that they're in conflict with Russia, the bear, Gog and Magog. You could read about that in Revelation 20 and was it 8? So there's going to be a battle between Gog and Magog and the beast. It says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised." Everybody's starting to come against this devil. All right. Nobody likes you. It says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" Does this not sound familiar? Going back to what I just read in Isaiah the 14th chapter. Okay. You say in your heart, you will ascend into heaven, you will exalt your throne above the stars of the Most High. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And you're already seeing the example of that happen now with how they're trying to go into outer space. You got Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They talking about planning on, just leaving the earth. You keep on sending up those little space shuttles, and then they'll say that they successfully went up there, and then they'll come down and they'd never land right, and it always end up in a damn explosion. They really think that they're gonna be able to get out there into the heavens and basically measure, the stars of heaven, which that can't be done. It's impossible. And the Lord stretches out the heavens like a curtain. It's ever expanding. So this devil will never get that far, and it's not even meant for man to get past the the firmament, which is basically the ozone layer, or the they got that the Van Allen radiation belt. You know, there's too much pressure. You'll disintegrate going way up there, man. So we know that they not getting up there. So they try to send a little technology far out there, like they got the little, satellites and everything up there. All right, but that's, this devil's at the height of his power, where he's able to do these things, and he's very proud. All right, and then going back to the late '60s when they claimed that they landed on the moon, they said the eagle has landed. All right, so prophecy fulfilled, and after that happened, that's when Esau started to fall. He started to go down. You had Jake starting to rise up. You had the truth, all right, resurface. All right, where you had Abba Bivens on the scene, and then you had the men that came up under him, and it grew to what it is now from that moment on, and that began the downfall of Esau's power, man. Okay, so you can see just based on these precepts that Lucifer is talking about the Edomites, but really the top Edomites, the wise and the super rich Edomites, the international bankers, what the world calls the so-called Illuminati, which means um, enlightened ones, because they hold the light. That's why they're known as the rulers of the darkness of this world, because they know the truth, but they tell you the lie. All right, and they do everything hidden. They do it in the dark, thinking that people don't see them, but they're constantly being exposed. And that's why it says in this very chapter, in the 6th verse, how are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? That's because right now we're in a time where the wicked is being revealed, the man of sin, the son of perdition. Okay, the Lord also is putting the spirit on the prophets of the Lord. He's being consumed by the spirit of his mouth. So that's another way that Lucifer is falling from heaven. All right, he's falling from his paradise. Okay, and also talks about how their wise men are starting to perish. Things ain't going according to plan, even though they're very desperate. Trying to roll everything out so quickly. All right, let me get Jeremiah 49 and 7. This is what makes them Lucifers, because their wisdom on the left hand side. All right, Jeremiah 49 and 7, it says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? You see? And that's why it says in Isaiah the 47th chapter, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. The Lord was basically taunting these men. Hey, let your stargazers and your monthly prognosticators, your soothsayers, basically all your wise men, your scientists, your witches and warlocks, let them rise up and save you. Let them prevent your fall. All right, let me get Isaiah 47. It is Isaiah 47 and 1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, you finna be brought down to the pit. It says, sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. All right, the wise men of Babylon, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? It says, take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen, and you're being constantly exposed. All right? Everything is coming out on you. You've done a lot of predictive programming over the years, and now things are starting to come to the forefront, and now we're seeing it. You devils always had, these evil plans. All right? So you're being exposed on a major level. your crimes against the Israelites. All right, how you devils got into power and how you got your your wealth, your corrupt banking system, which is based off of fraud. It says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. Or the Lord is coming back to judge you as a divine celestial power. And that's another thing. These devils are tripping out over these chariot sightings, man. Because they're starting to see that there is no match, facing up against those chariots. Their technology is far advanced. The guy said their technology is 100 to 1,000 years, far ahead of our technology. So he has no chance in hell, man. Well, hey, that's how the Lord is coming when he comes to judge you devils. All right. It says, let me jump down now. This is Isaiah 47:10. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it have perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. And that's that God complex of Esau. Them trying to transhumanize everybody. Them trying to control, monitor, and track everything. They want everything to be futuristic. Basically they want everything controlled and ruled by artificial intelligence, and it's based off of their wicked left hand wisdom and knowledge. And because of that, they're trying to magnify themselves in the earth. They're trying to say that, hey, we're God. You see the power that we have? We control and run the world. If you got any ailments, we can heal you. Just put this device in you, and we got you. We can upgrade you. We can enhance your memory. You can buy and sell without having to come in contact with anybody. All right, so this is how he's trying to magnify himself. He's exalted. He's proud. Now realizing the Lord gave him that power, just like the prince of the power of the air. He he got pissed. My power just went out of nowhere, and basically maybe the last minute or so, the microphone stopped working, so you probably didn't hear the last minute of what I was just trying to say. So that's Satan trying to interrupt the spirit. But I left off going into Isaiah 47 chapter, how because of this devil's left hand knowledge and wisdom, his intelligence, he's magnifying himself. He's thinking that he's proud. He's on a godlike level. All right. And that's when you go to Daniel, I think it's the 8th chapter. It talks about through his policy. Let's try to go there. Here we go again. Wow, no internet. All right. I try. You know what? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it short. I was gonna go and hit Daniel the 8th chapter and 25th verse, where it talks about how it talks about through his policy, that he would cause craft to prosper in his hand, and that's that's pretty much this devil's excellency. All right, so he's at the height of his power, so he's proud as hell. So that's why it says right here in Isaiah the 47th chapter that he trusts in his wickedness, and his wisdom and his knowledge has perverted him. All right, so that's why the Lord is going to bring all type of hell and calamity on this devil, and he says, stand now with your enchantments, man. If you think that you're going to succeed, if you think you're going to prevail, well, hey, let's see if the sorceries that you know how to practice so well, that you got mastered, let's see if that help you, because you're wearied in the multitude of your counsels. So that's how the Lord is bringing this devil down. That's how Lucifer is being brought down. And then ultimately the Lord's going to end up destroying America, Babylon the Great. And that's when he's going to fully fall from power. All right. And I was going to link it to Isaiah, not Isaiah, Ezekiel the 28th chapter. All right, you can actually go into that, and you know that's a precept also to Isaiah the 14th chapter. All right, but he's referred to in that chapter as the Prince of Tyrus. All right, he sets himself, you know, as a power on the earth, man. You know, and matter of fact, just to quote it, and I'm gonna just end off with that, man, because Satan, he didn't like this lesson, being, because I'm answering. Well, damn. Let me just let me just quote that in Ezekiel 28. But it basically says, "Son of man, say unto the Prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power. I sit in the seat of the Most High power in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High." All right. So because of his wisdom, he thinks that he's the Most High. All right. But he's not the Most High, and that's why when you jump down to the 26th verse, he said, "Therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness." All right. "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, O light bearer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations?" You see? Verse 8, "They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slaved thee, I am the Most High power? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee." All right. And Esau is going to be brought to naught. The international bankers, they're going to go right into slavery after their kingdom is destroyed. Okay. So they're not going to be sitting on no throne. They're not going to have the power to go into outer space. They ain't going to be able to do none of that. They're not going to be super rich. They're going to literally go from riches to rags, literally. All right. They will not have any position of power on earth ever again. This world is going to pass away with fervent heat and great noise. And I hate that I couldn't actually go straight to these scriptures on screen, because, the internet basically got cut off, because I don't know if there was a little temporary blackout, but here you see with this devil's agenda, man. So we in that time, man. But I just want to go into that. And the response was to Apostle John McGregor. All right. And, he asked the question to the Hebrew Israelites, is Lucifer that fall from heaven a so-called white man? Yeah, it is. The international bankers, when they fall from power, yeah, that's talking about them. All right. And it's not talking about him literally falling from the spiritual realm down to the earth. All right, because if that's the case, then what did YAHAWASHI mean when he said about the city of Capernaum? Thou that are exalted to heaven, that's basically your city is going to be brought down to hell. If that mean that literal city was in heaven and it actually fall from heaven down to earth. So don't be simple, man. All right. So anyway, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Al Shai. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. And to the next lesson, I'm going to say Shalom.